guys, I'm back with another video. My name is Malaya and I'm a third year PhD student and I do computational biology. Now this video is thanks to another YouTube comment. I got one of these comments on a video I did last time, so I thought I'd answer it with another video. I feel like one of the big questions when it comes to a PhD is really, is it worth it? Now the answer to this question really depends on the industry you go into, the actual job you decide to do, and quite a few other factors. I'll break it down as best as I can and keep it as general as I can. So after completing a PhD, you have a few options. You can go into academia, you can go into industry, or you can go into something completely different. Now in academia, I feel like especially the first few years of your career, you're probably going to be earning on the lower end of the scale. As a postdoc, you're probably looking at around 30 to 40k a year, depending on the university, the area of research, and basically the clout your professor has. Now 30 to 40k a year is not bad. Now that typically is the average that someone in the UK earns, but a lot of people do consider the fact that you spend so many years in education. 30 to 40k kind of just feels like you're being sold short. Most postdocs also don't have the luxury of being able to stay permanently where they're at. They're typically on short contracts. These can be for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and often find themselves moving to different cities because they chase opportunities. However, a lot of people do use postdocs as a stepping stone to their actual wanted career path, which typically is down the route of a researcher or some kind of professor. With years of experience, professorship can get you to 70 to 100 plus k a year, but that does take some time to get there. It's important to remember academia is not known for its high paychecks, but you do get perks in other kinds of ways. Not the traditional perks of you have an on-site gym or whatever you might have in a corporate place. It's more so you're actually at the forefront of cutting edge research, and quite often you're responsible for it. You're also able to shape the new generation of scientists. Now in industry, this is far more variable because of the wide variety of jobs you have. You can do research in industry, you can do specialist roles, and you can do general roles. Research in industry can get you anywhere between 35 to about 55k a year, with room to grow as you get more experience. Whereas specialist roles such as data science can get you anywhere between 45 to 70k a year, depending on your company and your skill set. Now, I know that 50 to 70k a year is extremely general, but that is because it actually is so variable. It really does depend on what your PhD is in, what industry you're trying to get into, and what experience you've had along the way. Now, the other prong that I told you about was alternative career paths. You have financing and consulting, again, depending on the company that you're in. And with consulting, you're looking at 40 to 60k a year, with room for growth as you get more experience. And some firms will offer you higher salaries if you have a more niche understanding and more specialist approach to your consulting. Something that I'm looking into is intellectual property. Now, if you want to be a patent attorney, as a trainee, you're looking at 35 to 40k a year before you qualify, and then after qualification you're looking at about 65 plus, again increasing your salary as you gain more experience. If you're looking at IP law, which is just slightly different to patent attorney, and I can do another video on that if you want, you're looking at 55k while you're training, and depending on what firm you're at, about 95 to 100k plus post qualification. You also have the ability to start your own business. Entrepreneurship is definitely a viable source for PhD students. You do develop a lot of skills that will be beneficial as an entrepreneur, but of course that's a financial gamble and there's no limit on the amount of money you can earn. It's important to remember that your earnings really do depend on what you do. As I've continuously said throughout this video, your field within STEM is also really important in this and very pivotal. I find that more maths or computational based PhD students have a wider variety of skill sets just because it can be applied to other industries like finance a lot easier than, for example, microbiology. And I do feel like industries that contain things like maths or money or whatever it might be do tend to have bigger budgets than, for example, research and development. PhDs are also the environment where you build a lot of soft skills and transferable skills, and these skills are very easily demonstrated by the fact that you've done a PhD. For example, critical thinking, problem solving, presentation, etc. And I feel like that definitely sets you apart in the job market. So while you're considering jobs that you might want to do post PhD, or maybe you're a student who hasn't even yet applied to PhDs and you want to weigh all of your options, just remember when you're hearing these salaries, particularly if you're from abroad, you have to take into account the cost of living. Even though the average salary in the UK is about 30 to 40k a year, that is very hard to live on in this country, especially if you're living alone. So please take all of those aspects into consideration before you decide to make any decisions. But best of luck on your job hunting or your applications, whichever it may be, but make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Until next time guys, bye.